What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. I'm going to go over something today that hopefully answers some questions that I think that many people don't know that they have. Like, you don't even know you have this question. And also will kind of bring to light on how you may be getting little to no progress with your training, diet, with the program that you're doing, whatever the case may be. Now, here's the, we're just going to start at the beginning here. So, when I first start working with a client, what I do is I send them what I call the intake form. Now basically it's a form that tells me everything about that person, what they're eating now, how they're training, what supplements they take, over the counter, non-over the counter, all that type of stuff. It has everything on it, right? And I ask them to be, more specific as they can be, which will help me build the program better. I build the program, I get it to them. Now, excuse me, the worst thing that you can do when you first get the program is to not stick to it the first week. I think a lot of people, I hear these things, well, it was just my first show, so, I didn't really get that condition. It's like, well, what the fuck? It's just my first week, so I didn't really follow it that much. Why do you wait? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to half-ass anything just because it's the first time you're doing it? Like, it's very simple. Like, if you're doing a show, you give it your absolute 100% all, and you try to win. Doesn't mean you're going to win, but you try to win. You don't have the attitude as, well, it's just my first show, so I'm just going to fuck around, and, the next one I'll get more serious about. I hear that shit all the time. Well, people do that shit with their diet and their training, even if they're not competing, right? And I'm like, you realize when I sent you this program, like, it flat out says, do not alter this in any way, shape, or form. That's what it says when I send them the program. And the first thing that some of these people do is they change the cardio, they change the food, they change the macros. The training, they pretty much stick to that. They don't have an issue with that. But the food and the cardio, they change and they rationalize. Here's the thing. You may be rationalizing in your head what you think you should be doing, or what you think might be better, or what you think would be better for you. But here's the problem. I think I should be able to put Wesson oil in my car and make it run. That's what I think. However, that's not true. And a professional would tell me you have to put motor oil in your car, not Wesson oil. It doesn't work the fucking same. And that is the exact same way with this shit. If you come to me and I give you the program, it's because you haven't been able to do it on your own. Or if you have been able to do it on your own, for some reason you can't recreate it again, or you didn't like the outcome. So you wanted a different outcome, so you hire a trainer. Now, if I send a program with 15 minutes of cardio 5 times a week, right? And it's, done a certain way, and it's not super intense, like they're just starting a program, right? And I send them a diet and it has 350 grams of carbs on it, right? I'm just using these numbers for example, right? And it's got like 100 grams of fat on it, right? And I'm having them train 3 or 4 days a week. It depends on, how we set it up for them. But the training, the training doesn't really matter because people usually just stick to the training, but we'll get into that in a little bit in a minute. They usually don't underdo the training, they usually overdo the training. So now what happens is, I'll get the email that says, hey, Jerry, I got my 3 days of cardio in the way you asked me to do it. And then what I did was I ran for 2 hours on both those other days. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I asked you to do 15 minutes of cardio. Why would you do 2 hours of cardio on the other 2 days? Well, I just figured it would move things along a little bit and it would speed things up. And I'm like, your calories in, calories out bullshit? Is that what you're talking about? Well, yeah. Okay, time out. You did that before and failed, right? Yeah, okay, well, why don't you listen? I sent you the program. Just fucking follow it. Or, well, Jerry, I ate my 350 grams of carbs, which is not a little bit of carbs. And I decided that I probably needed more than that, so I ate 450 grams of carbs, and we're looking at the scale for that week. The scale went up. You're supposed to be losing fat and losing weight. The scale went up 3 pounds because you changed the diet on it after I told you not to change these things, right? And then I get the rationalization. Well, Jerry, if I increase my calorie expenditure, here's the deal. So you're gonna calm down because it frustrates the shit out of me because you don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know about. So when I hire a professional that does this for a living and knows things, I just follow what the fuck they say. Now, I may ask them questions so I understand a little better, but I don't just completely rebuild something and do it my own way when I don't even know how to fucking do it. That's the most frustrating thing ever. The worst one is when they lie to you. But when they're honest with you, if I gave you 15 minutes of cardio 5 times a week, that does not mean if you jump up to 2 hours for 2 days, your body is going to get better results. What is going to happen is your body's going to start adapting to that 2 hours, as well as the 15 minutes. Your body is in a constant state of adaptation. Now, what that means is your body constantly wants to be ready for the next time you do that to it again. So it becomes more efficient at doing what you want it to do or what you're trying to make it do. Therefore, if you start out with 15 minutes and use progression in cardio, Eventually you'll may get to 45 minutes a day, but guess what? You'll be fucking really, really lean compared to where you were. But if you're starting out with 2 hours on these 2 days, guess what? The body's adapting to that already. So the other 3 days, your body's adapting to the 2 hours on those 2 days. The other 3 days is like doing nothing. It's not stimulating metabolism. It's not doing shit. It's basically like getting up and brushing your fucking teeth at that point. So therefore, you have to bring those other days up as fast as possible to those other days where you're doing 2 hours of running. And now what happens is, you're 3 weeks into this program, you've only lost a couple pounds, you're doing 5 days of 2 hours a day of cardio running. And I'm like, this is how metabolic damage happens. It's not metabolic adaptation. That shit is metabolic damage. But people think, well, if I do more, I'll get more out of it. It's like, you will do more, but you cannot fucking progress like that, because you're going to have to literally, that will be the minimum. You'll have to do 2 hours a day of running minimum just to maintain your physique. To do more, because if you cut so many calories and increase the cardio, you now have metabolic damage. The only way to fucking change that is to increase the cardio and drop the calories. And I'm not talking about carbs, I'm talking about calories. Sometimes you have to drop the protein because you run out of carbs and fats because you fucked yourself up. So do not progress too fast. Do not jump into fucking 3 hours of cardio a day. Don't do these things. Like the diet, that nothing pisses me off more than a person with 35% body fat telling me they need 450 grams of carbs. Newsflash, you're fucking fat. Period. Okay? I don't give a fuck by anybody's standards, whether it's the bodybuilding industry. If you're 35% body fat, you're fucking fat. Okay? Stop fucking around with the food. Like, you're rationalizing because you're a fat fucker and you like to eat. So now what you do is you rationalize, I need 450 grams. You know what? You don't. There's plenty of fucking stored energy in your body. The difference is you are used to eating that much. So therefore you rationalize you need it. Fuck, you could not eat another meal for 2 months. You could literally just have water and vitamins for 2 months and I guarantee you'd still be all right. You'd be lean as fuck. You're not going to die. You're fine. You'll be totally fine. But the problem is, in your head, you need more because you want more. But you also want to get in shape. So you can't have both. You can't have, I want 500 grams of carbs and I want to be in shape. That doesn't fucking work. Or another one is, you give them the workout, right? And you describe how to do it. And you tell them how to do it. You say, this is how you do this. If you do it like this, it'll speed up your metabolism and it'll build muscle at the same time. You'll get a recomp effect immediately. And they come back and they go, well, you know, this wasn't this many sets. So what I did was 35 sets for this because I felt like I could do more. And then I added 16 sets for bis and 16 sets for tris. And then what I did was I added some plyos, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, how the fuck can your body adapt to that? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. They're constantly changing things around. And here's the thing. If you start out with bench presses, right? And I did this when I was younger. I fucked everything up, and this is how I fucked it up. Do bench presses on Monday. The following Monday, you do flat dumbbell presses instead of barbell bench presses. And then the following week, you do inclines. Here's the thing. Your body now has a new stress that it's trying to adapt to. That does not mean that's better for gaining muscle, okay? What that means is it's better overall for functionality, yes. All right, because you got different stabilizers work different ways because of different movements. However, progressive resistance in that one exercise will get you the fastest, most fucking steady results that you're gonna get. Which means if you're doing bench press on Monday with a flat barbell, motherfuckers, stay with that shit for 12 weeks. Don't fucking change that. Work on increasing that fucking every single week, because you can't go, well, I did barbell bench this week. This week I'm going to do dumbbell bench press. Well, how the fuck do you correlate to the weight for progression? You can't, because you're not using, let's say you use 225 at a bar. You're not using 225 with the dumbbells, right? It's not like a 112.5 in each hand that you're doing. It doesn't equate to the same thing. Therefore, the adaptation is different. Like, you have to stay with the things that you're going to adapt to and consistently adapt. And this whole, like, this muscle confusion and all this bullshit, listen, that's more for your fucking boredom, okay? I'm telling you right now, muscle confusion will not build muscle faster than progressive resistance. Nothing will build muscle better than faster than progressive resistance. Period. There is nothing. There is nothing that's been invented, and there will be nothing invented unless your body suddenly doesn't use carbs, proteins, and fat and adapt to stress, unless something completely new our bodies mutate and adapt to. That's what you're fucking working with, okay? The muscle confusion thing was something that people came up with because other people didn't like to go to the gym. They were bored. I don't want to do bench presses every week, so I want to do the fucking muscle confusion because, oh, wow, it's so fun. Those are the same fucking people that keep coming back trying to get in shape. Like, it blows my fucking mind. It's like, you guys don't understand. Like, the body adapts. That's what it does. It constantly adapts. It just wants to survive. You give it a stimulus, it thinks it's being attacked. It'll adapt to that stress, recover, grow, and be prepared for the next time an attack happens by being bigger and stronger. That's how your body works, right? It's a natural thing that it does. Now, we push it to levels that are unnatural, but bottom line is, guys, you cannot just randomly throw shit in because you think it'll work better. Because when I listen to your fucking reasons, they're so fucking far-fetched. that I'm like, where the fuck did you get that from? They're like, I don't know. Like, they don't even know. Like, you made it up because it's more comfortable for you to do it, or you figured by doing more all at once. Like, that's not how that fucking works. We've talked about this before, where the body cannot take huge amounts of stress at one time. It can't do that, okay? It literally will shut your fucking brain down and you will pass out. If you see something so fucking startling that you can't stand it and your brain can't comprehend it, you pass out, right? Like, you can't, like, you try to give your body 20,000 milligrams of an antibiotic, it's not gonna work. But you take that 20,000 milligrams, you put it in an IV bag, and you let it drip over time, and it slowly goes in there. Your body adapts as it's going in, and it uses what it needs, and you're not going to fucking die from overdosing on an antibiotic. So you have to understand the body, like, I can't hammer this home enough. Everybody seems to think that your body just will do whatever the fuck you want it to do at any time. That's true, but within reason. There has to be a fucking plan on it, and you can't just throw shit at it because it doesn't know how to adapt, and that's when problems arrive. So hopefully you guys understand now that, you know, just throwing these fucking programs together, you may get some newbie gains, you may get some, you know, results because it's something new, your body's trying to adapt to a new stimulus, but throwing that shit together without the right plan and not knowing how it works is not going to get you long-term goals, and I promise you it is not going to get you to your ultimate goal. BioStrengthTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostrength.com is the blog. It's the ultimate goal bicep, and we are